Guys, welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel today to check the video out. And guys, today I'm going to share with you one of the little known techniques in bass fishing that I've done really good on for the past 20 years in the summertime, and that's what I call my black lizard trick for the summertime month of the year. This features a black lizard or black neon, something like that. I'm going to explain with you guys the conditions it works in. And when you get that set of conditions, there's not a better lure that you can throw than a black lizard this time of year. So we're gonna dig into that. And also guys, we're gonna be talking about Zoom lizards today, both the 6 and 8 inch models. I'll put the Zoom lizard link in the description of this video if you guys would like to get you some of the lizards they make. I think they make the best lizard on the market, so link will be in the description. And also guys, real quick, you always on your soft plastics want to use scent, guys. This Baitpop is the #1 scent that you can possibly put on your bait. It's got amino acids in it, real fish. Just put a little bit on your finger like this. It stays on your bait forever. And I'll just rub it in there. It comes in a bunch of different flavors and glitter colors in there, but rub it in there, and when those fish go down on that lizard, they can smell that scent. They're a lot more apt to bite it when you got scent on it versus when you don't, so appreciate that. Also guys, thank you man very much for everybody who's taking time to subscribe here to the Fishing Teacher. We're working on getting up to 30,000 subscribers right now, and with your guys' help we can get there, so appreciate you guys subscribing, and I'd like to invite everybody to do so if you haven't there. Okay guys, the old lizard, man, been around forever, staple in bass fishing. A lot of people think of the lizard as a spring bait. In fact, I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions and myths in bass fishing, is that lizards only work in the springtime of the year. And when I started fishing, like for the first 10 or 15 years, I thought the same thing until I started catching fish later in the summer, experimenting with it. And one of my buddies that used to fish down in Oklahoma a lot, he used to fish the old Redman tournaments with me. He fished all the dirty water in Oklahoma down there, and he was telling me about how he just rips them in the summertime when it's hot on a black lizard, flipping and pitching. So that's what we're gonna talk about today, guys, is flipping and pitching a black lizard in the summertime. So anyway, the setup that I use, guys, is I prefer, this is the 8 inch model here. I prefer the 8 inch. You can also use the 6 inch. Usually the 6 inch, guys, the fishing's a little bit tougher, or if you're in a body of water that, you know, traditionally is tougher, or post-frontal conditions or heavy fishing pressure, you might get some more bites on the 6 inch, but I definitely prefer the 8. And you want to couple it up. I usually use a 3/0 straight shank Gamakatsu G Finesse worm hook. That link will be in the description too. And the sinker size is critical. When you're talking about this lizard fishing this time of year, 3/16 sinker, guys, is always the one you use. And I've done some video, guys. I usually cut the head off on it and put the sinker after I bite the head off, but I just didn't do it for the video here. But you can catch fish either or, but I usually take that head off and just put it on there like that. But 3/16 sinker, black lizard, 3/0 hook, 20 to 25 pound test Seaguar in Vizex fluorocarbon line, and just a good flipping stick. I got that Megabass Alkali slipping stick here. And this, guys, I got this on the real quick. I don't want this to sound like a plug, guys. This is that new Strike King MGTI bait cast reel. This is their top of the line reel. If you guys are looking for a great bait cast reel at a good price, I'll have my Cast King link in the description here. This is called the MGTI, freaking awesome bait cast reel. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this lizard deal and when you want to fish it, the conditions it works in, summertime fishing of the year. Like any technique, when you're talking about bass fishing technique, guys, there are windows throughout the course of the year that certain techniques work. And sometimes those windows are pretty big and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're small windows. For the black lizard, now this is what I have caught the best fish on, or had the most success. First of all, I've tried different colors. I've tried the green pumpkins and watermelons and June bugs. You can catch some fish on it once in a while, but you can't beat the black or the black neon. That is the key on this particular technique. There's something about the way that the black works in hot water where it's dirty is the key. So here's what you got to have with it. Number one, you have got to have off-color dirty water. You don't want to have any water visibility over about 12 inches in clarity. The ideal clarity for this black lizard in the summertime is like 4 to 10 inches of visibility. So you may or may not have that in the lake that you fish. If you've got over a foot, maybe 1.5 feet at the max, but if you got water visibility much over a foot, this is probably not going to work that good. So that's one criteria that makes it situational. The next with that is you've got to have this in combination with two other things. You've got to have water temperatures over 80 degrees, and you got to have some type of shallow, either grass or rock cover. Now, I have caught them in lily pads, gator grass, milfoil hydrilla, when you got the situation, shallow, dirty grass, or shallow wood cover, like lay down trees, stumps, flooded bushes, lay down logs in the water, shallow wood cover. That's the two things. If you get that situation where you have that dirty, shallow water and you've got the predominant good cover with it, guys, that black lizard will catch them a lot of times better than anything. I have spent a lot of time flipping and pitching in the summertime, and I use a wide variety of lures. And I use a bunch of them, guys. And don't get me wrong, there's other lures that catch them in that situation. You can catch them on a jig in that same situation. You can catch them on a tube. You can catch them on a creature bait or a worm. But whatever it is, sometimes they want that lizard. It's just day in and day out what they prefer. So here's my advice on it. If you get that situation that I just talked about, a couple different lures you want to have. You want to have a black and blue jig in that scenario, like a 1/2 ounce black and blue jig, maybe a black tube, maybe some type of a black sapphire creature bait, and that black and red or the black lizard there. One of those two. Another thing that the lizard will work really good is a lot of times in the summertime, I found this to be true a lot, is when you're flipping and pitching around shallow cover, a lot of times they want that bait swum through that area. So what I'll do a lot of times is if I have a piece of shallow cover out there, that's one of the reasons I like the lighter sinker on the lizard. I will mix it up between pitching it and flipping in there, and then sometimes I'll throw it up next to that cover and swim it. And I swim it where I can't see it, under the water. So let me give you a prime example of how I've caught some good fish before. Let's say, for example, there's a nice lay down log in the water that is in 2 to 4 foot of water. I may go in there with that lizard and make 5 or 10 casts, pitching it and flipping it traditionally, and then I'll take that lizard and I'll throw it in there and I'll swim it under the water, in and around that cover, down the side of the logs. And guys, I've caught a bunch of good ones in hot water. We have a lake called Truman Lake up here in Missouri, and I have caught some really quality bags of fish in July and August swimming that black lizard around, like standing in submerged timber. A lot of times in that dirty water in the summertime, those fish will suspend in shallow water. So the water maybe only be 2 to 4 foot deep, and a lot of times they suspend like a foot underneath that, in and around that cover. So that's just another thing that you want to remember with it. But it's just another technique to add to your arsenal, guys. If you haven't tried it, give that black lizard a try. I think it might get you some good ones.